Hey, and we're finally
Hey!
here.
Yes,
Hello,
we are.
everybody. I hope everyone can hear us. I'm going to say this is going to be a really awkward live stream if no one can hear us, but
Exactly. It's like you're just going to be watching us going like, yeah, we don't want to have anything like that.
oh wait, no, they can definitely hear us. I just
Okay,
actually pulled it up.
good.
So
Okay.
all right then. So sorry everybody for like the impromptu like live stream because we really want to do the end of year awards and we just thought, well, we're going to do it as a video. Then we realized we've got Zootopia 2 still to come out, so we just thought, you know what, this video or even this live stream, I guess you could say, this broadcast isn't going to be much. It's just going to be like us reflecting on the year and also just doing the awards. And I'm sure a lot of you are wondering what everyone has voted for. And so, first of all, thank you very much, everybody, for not just voting in the end of year awards, but basically watching us all year long for Old School Lane. And, you know, I think we've now got over, I think, 14,000 subscribers now, I think, at this point.
14,578.
Wow, thank you all very much for the support. It's really cool. And thank you very much for checking out our content as well, because whether you're listening on Spotify and on the train, or if you're settling down at home with your laptop, you know, with your onesie and, you know, your really strange, you know, Naruto collection, you know, that's the, and your, you know, you're losing a set of body pillow, if that's a reference for all those Our House fans who are still following Maureen Marks comics. But yeah, like, it's been a really interesting year, and it's funny because me and Patricia, we planned out Old School Lane for like an entire year,
Yeah.
like what we were going to do, and it hasn't really turned out the way that we thought it was going to turn out,
No.
really. Like, we didn't think we'd be reflecting on our, you know, childhood VHS tapes that were bought by Grandma and Grandpa, and we didn't think we'd be, you know, covering the Super Mario Nation saga
No.
from Jerry Anderson. We didn't think we were going to be doing that. In fact, we had pretty much an entire different plan of like what we were going to do, but we just got so entertained with everything that sort of distracted us that, you know, it sort of turned into this year, really. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know how you feel about it, Patricia, given the fact that we planned out something for an entire year and it ended up kind of like not being that. So.
Exactly, yeah. We had like a whole list of everything we wanted to do, and most of it didn't happen. And instead, we sidelined into other things that were done by complete accident. Like, as we mentioned before, Puppets Go Boom was done by complete accident. Aaron introduced me to Thunderbirds, and we just thought to ourselves, okay, well, you know, we had a really great time talking about it. And then we thought to ourselves, okay, let's take a look at the other Super Mario Nation shows to see how that stacks up. And that's where Puppets Go Boom came to be.
Oh, Jelly says, hello, I love you, and thank you for your channel. Yeah, thank you so much for you
Yes,
guys
thank
as
you so
well.
much.
Yeah. SCM Haddock Sucks says hi. Sorry if I do mispronounce. I'm going to be doing a lot of mispronunciations during this live stream.
It's
so,
all right,
yeah.
don't worry about it.
Like,
But
we
yes.
can't edit any of it, so, you know, like, this is how bad Aaron talks.
Yeah, so hi everybody, how's it going? Yes, and we haven't done a live stream well, I haven't done a live stream in almost 2 years, not since the Wienerville 30th anniversary live stream. And Aaron, the last time that you were in a live stream with me was with the what was it? I think it was probably the Old School Lane 15th anniversary. live
Yeah, I
stream.
think it was, and I mean, we also did the As Told by Ginger live stream as well, if you remember, and
Yes,
also
we
we
did.
did the Hey Arnold live stream as well,
Yes, we
and so
did.
those are two ones that stick out in my mind. But no, I mean, I think this entire year, I don't think we've been live once. I don't think.
No, we have
And,
not been live once.
Yeah, so I mean, if you guys enjoy the live streams and if you really want us to do more, then I mean, we can look at doing that. I mean, like, who knows? Maybe when all the new movie releases run out. By the way, we've not talked about any of this, so you're hearing this all. You and me and Patricia talking about all this for the first time. Is that maybe for like, you know, the when the movies all come out maybe next year and we decide to do you know, reviews on that. Maybe we might do live versions of Dream Machine. Maybe we might do live versions of Pixmix. Maybe we might do live versions of Casual Chat. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe if we do decide to like go in that direction and do more live streams, we will let you know.
Yeah, we'll
So.
definitely let you know. Yeah, I mean, I was planning on doing a live stream last year, but let's just say it was for a certain Nickelodeon show, and let's just say that a certain bit of news came out, and then the whole thing just fell apart.
Exactly, yeah, and if actually was this the year that the whole Dan Schneider stuff kind of like started happening as well? Like,
Yes.
man, that felt like a long time ago. Like, I think this year has just felt very long, hasn't it? Like, you know, a lot of the stuff that I'm trying to remember and recall back from the beginning of this year, it just feels like wow, like that just feels like an age ago,
Yeah.
really. And it's funny because in certain aspects, this this year has moved really quickly, and in other aspects it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking back on some of the podcasts that I've done this past year, and yeah, I mean, some of the ones that I'm really proud of. And for those who are listening to this podcast right now and you haven't voted for what was your favorite Old School and Casual Chats episode of 2025, then yeah, go check out the social media pages, go check out the YouTube community page. It's the poll should still be there. But
Chris Lincoln says hi. Hey Chris, how you doing?
Hey, Chris,
I
how's
was
it going?
talking to you in a while actually. Hope you're keeping well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so I'm just going to take a look into the podcast that we've, that Aaron and I have done, and as well as, the ones that I've done by myself. This was a great year for some of the topics that we've covered, some of which have gotten a lot of views and a lot of support. So yeah, the first episode of Casual Chats of 2025, this was from Chris, aka Rowdy Seymour from TV Trash, and I. We talked about the Disney revival era. So we talked about the films from Princess and the Frog all the way to Frozen 2. And yeah, you guys really enjoy whenever that we do the Disney era podcast. And yeah, as for those who were tuning in to that one and you're confused as to saying like, why didn't you continue with it? Because the Disney revival era is still going. Well, in my opinion, it ended. And so, yeah,
it's kind of weird because, like, we got Frozen 3 and Frozen 4 yet to come out.
Yes.
And, like, they're all revival era kind of, like, movies, movie franchise, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're going to get more, in fact, we just came off Zootopia 2
did.
recently as well. So it's kind of like, did the revival era, like, I mean, you and I believe that it stops, but has it? I mean, like, given the fact that we're going to be indulged with loads of sequels soon, I mean, like, it's kind of hard to say that it has.
Well, I mean, the reason why I said in that podcast on why it ended was because 2019 was the last year in which it made Disney made over $1 billion, and then it was also the last year, if you can believe it, Bob Iger was the president before he stepped down, and then 2020 happened where we had Bob Chapek as the president. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, the Chapek era definitely, died a death, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, and then Bob Iger's come back, and things haven't really been any better, really.
And then COVID happened, and so that was when a lot of the stuff was being released on Disney Plus. Also, Disney Plus was released on 2019 as well. And so, there were a lot of major changes that were happening. And it's like what I said on that podcast, is that whenever that the end of an era and the beginning of one starts and ends, a major event happens. Like with the golden era to the wartime era, it was World War II. And then from the wartime era all the way up to the silver era, you have Disney going back into basics. And then the silver era, you have Disney's death. And then you have the dark era, in which when the 9 old men retired and then the new generation started coming in, and they were starting to get that mentality of what would Walt do. And then the new generation started coming in, and they were having a rough start right before. You have people like Michael Eisner and Jeffrey Katzenberg coming in, and then you have the beginnings of the Renaissance era, and then 3D animation happened after the Renaissance era was done, and then you have over like CGI with like Pixar and DreamWorks, and then with the revival era, that's when they went back to basics with Princess and the Frog and Tangled. And
say something for the podcast, babe.
Well, again, I actually did discuss about this in depth on the revival era podcast that I did with Chris. So yes, we will be doing a podcast on the post-revival era in the future, but it's going to be a while until then. We don't know when it's going to happen, when we say, yeah, this is when this era ends and this one begins. So
yeah. I just think that with where it's funny because we talked about where Disney have come from, but where are they going to go? And unfortunately, with imagine, I say unfortunately, I mean like a lot of people complaining about the fact that Disney have like going to be releasing sequel after sequel after sequel after sequel. The problem is that Zootopia 2 and other sequels have made money, and so therefore Disney is going to continue catering to the fact that people want to see more of I guess you say beloved franchises, and they're going to start releasing more sequels. Incredibles 3 is on the way, and along with Frozen 3 and Frozen 4, and Toy Story 5 is going to be a thing as well,
and Coco 2
Coco 2, yeah, like it's interesting at Coco. I mean, we've not really had much information about Coco 2 yet, have we?
That's because it's going to be coming out in, I think it's going to be 2029, because
oh, by the way, Zootopia 3 also is something that's also going to be in the works as well.
Yes.
So like and K-pop Demon Hunters. I mean, obviously it's not Disney, but K-pop Demon Hunters 2 is
we'll get to K-pop Demon Hunters in a bit. But
yeah, we will.
But yeah, the Disney era podcast, the Disney Revival era podcast did really well. Had over 900 views on YouTube. It had over 300 views on Spotify. So yeah, for those who have been tuning into that one, thank you so much. The next one that I did was the Cyber Six podcast that I did with Magenta Hamster, and that was great because if you guys remember, I did that Heroic Jim or Junk episode on Cyber Six as my very first episode, and yeah, we have somebody who is an expert on Cyber Six. She is currently the translator of the comics into English. It's not official, of course, because unfortunately at this point in time, it's only been officially translated in Italian, Spanish, and I think French as well, but never an English translation because of the a lot of things that would not be kosher to an American audience. And so, yeah, there were several people who were translating it, but it was never completed. Now Magenta Hamster's doing it. And also, recently on Reddit, she actually found a 9-second clip of the pitch for the Cyber Six cartoon series that aired in Teletoon in Canada. So yeah, we talked about many things. This was around the time in which when the Cyber Six live action series was discovered and found after being lost for 30 years. We talked about the TV series, we talked about the comics, and yeah, I mean, that one also did really well. It had over 1,000 views on YouTube and not as much on Spotify, which I guess it makes a lot of sense because I actually recently learned that the majority of listeners on my Spotify are actually people who are from 17 to 25, and I think that Cyber Six was something that they were like way too young for because the original comic book series came out in the early 90s, and then the animated series on Teletoon in Canada came out in the late 90s. So yeah, I had a great time with it. I
think didn't the Cyber Six thing come? Was that before or after the K-pop Demon Hunters podcast?
This was before.
This was before they came out, yeah, because I think a lot of stuff that we've covered. I mean, obviously, we are bringing in. By the way, shout out to all the 17, 24-year-olds who are listening to Old School Lane at the moment, and we really would like to not only tell you about our experiences, or growing up in the 80s and the 90s, and maybe you can contrast it with your experiences growing up, because we actually would like to hear about that, because you and I in the past have spoken to people like Not So Average Fangirl, and spoken to Morgan Terry, and let's be honest, people who grew up just before maybe just a little bit after our time, after they were in the era still of where you could have a digital satellite box that wasn't affected by your dad's razor when he was trying to make that was our experience of that. But the idea is that for you guys, we can pass on our experiences of this was the stuff that we grew up with, and you can obviously compare to yourselves about some of the stuff that you grew up with. And if you want us to cover some of the stuff that is cherished in your childhood, we'll definitely have a look at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one, we did the Dream Machine episode on Dogman.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because you and I did Captain Underpants, the first movie, and funny enough, there hasn't been a second movie yet. So
no, but there has been an animated series since then.
There's an animated series, yeah, but I mean, this is the curse of when you name something either the first movie or Doug's first movie or whatever, because I can guarantee you anybody who names that is going to be very, very unlikely that there's going to be a second.
That's
but
true.
I guess Dogman, I guess you could say, is a spin-off of Captain Underpants, because
it is a spin-off.
It is a spin-off of Captain Underpants, but I think, I actually gravitated to this a lot more than Captain Underpants, but just because of purely the fact that there's, RoboCop references, there's, other references to other movies in this, other, police movies that are in this as well. There's an aspect of, Police Academy in some places as well. Just the hilarity of, a policeman having a dog for a head and then having to, cope with this whole new ride. But, not only do you see the hilarious side of it, but you see the emotional side of it as well.
Yeah.
And so this movie took me by surprise, and it is a recommended watch, I have to say, for anybody who I know there's going to be a lot of people kind of roll their eyes at the idea of watching something which is kind of like a spin-off of Captain Underpants, but I was very skeptical of Captain Underpants. I still checked out Dogman, and we still both enjoyed it. So,
we definitely enjoyed it. We went to the theaters for this movie, and
we were the only ones there, unfortunately, I think. But to be fair though, this was at a time when it'd already gone through quite a few of its run, and I think that's the one thing I'm a bit critical of, I think, of us, in 2025, is that unfortunately, I mean, DreamWorks hasn't really been, a priority for us, and which is kind of surprising, really, because it used to be before that we would be very eager to talk about DreamWorks movies, but now it sort of kind of like feels like, like, do we really want to go out on our way to go watch Gabby's Dollhouse the movie? Like, we'll leave that maybe, it's funny because I'm pretty sure there's been some DreamWorks episode, Dream Machine episodes where it's been kind of like, well, let's wait for it to come out on streaming and then we'll release it then, because obviously people will start talking about it about them. And with Ruby Gilman Teenage Kraken, and with with the Spirit movie and like other movies that we've done in the past with that, that just kind of like has that feel. It's sort of like, a DreamWorks movie coming out doesn't really feel like it has the same gravity as the other movies that we had before. Like, it's not gravitating us towards the movie theater to go and watch it and then quickly do a release. I mean, Zootopia 2 was sort of kind of like in that. Mind you, there was litigating circumstances around Zootopia 2. By the way, check out that episode when it finally releases.
Yes.
We'll tell you why it's taken us such a long time to just do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, right now with the Dream Machine episodes, I just feel like they're not that exciting to get to at the minute, and I don't know, just the fact that maybe they need to do some sequels to stuff, or maybe they need to do some newer material, maybe they need to do something a bit more fresh. But again, I think their offerings, I mean, with the exception of Dogman, I guess you could say, I mean, even then that was a struggle to get me out of the house for that. I just feel like at the moment DreamWorks don't have the movies that you want to go out of your way to go watch. In fact, we sat down and finally watched She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, and we were more engulfed with that really than we were whatever their movie offerings were.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, just how I feel about the whole situation.
Yeah, so going into the discussion of DreamWorks, we're still into this, but we put out a poll several years ago on what was the DreamWorks animated series that you wanted us to watch, and this was based off of a movie. And yeah, the winner was DreamWorks Dragons, and we saw the first season, DreamWorks Dragons Riders of Berk.
Yeah, and with DreamWorks Dragons, I mean, the fact that it expands on the lore and it takes us through, the in-betweens between the first and second movie, and then I think, the rest of the other ones to take us between, like, I mean, it's the second and third movie, I think, after that. We're not seeing those yet, but eventually we will, and so, I mean, we've been enjoying it so far. It's just, unfortunately, other things are taking precedence at the minute, so it's funny because we would watch a couple of episodes of DreamWorks Dragons and be kind of like, I really want to introduce you to Thunderbirds, and we introduce you to Captain Scarlet, and I really want to introduce you to, that's how Public go boom, effectively, it exploded on the scene, literally. And so, we've had more fun, enjoying ourselves watching those things than that, I never seen Fireball XL5 sat down properly, and, now I'm introduced, Kudo, so, I'm actually considering cosplaying as at a Comic-Con. I just want to do that, it's all insane. Oh my god, that'd be so hilarious if I get to do that.
Yeah, and all the commentary that we did for Supercar and Joe 90 was also a blast, too.
Oh, yeah, that was... It's funny because, even though you probably look at it and think, oh, this is campy, this is old and everything like that, we had so much fun with it. And, funny enough, when we got more into it, we understood a bit more of the lore, we understood more of, the writing of the characters. I think, if you look past the fact that this is just, this is marionettes and, it's a Super Mario Nation and, it's puppets, quote unquote. I mean, it is actually a pretty good ride. So any of the Super Mario Nation, series, I definitely would, tell you, please do it. Definitely Thunderbirds, if you get a chance to do. Please watch Thunderbirds.
And watch Captain Scarlet.
And watch Captain Scarlet, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I know that there's going to be some people in the comments saying, well, what about the reboots, the new Captain Scarlet and Thunderbirds Are Go? We will get to those at some point.
Well, also, we got an explanation about what happens to Thunderbirds Are Go as well, so, but that'll be in the Zootopia 2 podcast, so, yeah.
Okay, so the next one that we did was Elio.
And, I think just to wrap up on this, and funny enough, this actually will be coming up in the end of the year awards, but, Elio was a bit disappointing, and, given the fact they had so much promise at the beginning with as well, and it looks like they swapped and changed so many things around, and they added things that I think were just so unnecessary that, unfortunately, it's a Pixar movie that unfortunately fell flat.
And then the reason why was because, I mean, we talked about this in the Elio podcast, but go check it out, but the writer and director behind this movie, who was so passionate about it, he wanted to tell the story about his own personal experience where he was growing up as a gay child, and he wanted to reflect that on the movie. This was a at a time in which when Pixar were getting these directors to tell their own personal stories. We saw this with Luca, we saw this with Turning Red, we saw this with Elemental, but those movies didn't do very well in the theaters. And so that was when Pete Docter made the decision that, we need to be able to gravitate towards a general audience. These personal stories don't really mesh well anymore.
Effectively, we're just going to do whatever Illumination is doing, which is like, the worst thing you could possibly do, because I guarantee you, me and Patricia will probably look, if they continue going down the Illumination route for the next couple of years, we're not going to enjoy these Pixar movies. Sorry, we're not.
I mean, well, I'm curious about how Hoppers is going to do, because we have Daniel Chong, who's writing and directing this movie. This is the first outside person who has been in a Pixar movie since Brad Bird.
Yeah. So, anyway, we'll have us having a jump to joy, or we'll have us jump off a cliff. We'll
the
see.
fact that 2026, this is the year in which 2 Pixar films are coming out this year, and
one is good and one is bad.
Yeah, and trust me, you would think to us, you would probably say in the comments, oh, you're just overreacting. No. We've seen this done 4 times, so 5th time's the charm?
Yeah. Anyway, we are making our way up to the 30th minute mark, so I think we've pretty much held off for long enough. I think. Shall we get on with what we're here for today? And thank you everyone for sticking with us. This, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, is the 2025 End of Year Awards. Now, I know the results, but Patricia doesn't. Nope. So this is going to be really interesting to see how she reacts to all of this. So, by the way, thank you all for voting in our poll, and so we are now going to go through it. So
all right, let's do this.
Let's have a look at this. We are going to go first with Best Movie of the Year.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
The nominees included Dogman, How to Train Your Dragon 2025, K-Pop Demon Hunters, The King of Kings, Ninja 2, and Zootopia 2. So we are going to give you the results right now. In third place, with 9% of the vote, is Dogman.
Okay.
In second place, with 32% of the vote, is Zootopia 2.
Okay.
And the winner, I guess you could say, with 45% of the vote, is K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, so it's not
congratulations to them.
Yeah, congratulations. So yeah, we talked about in depth about K-Pop Demon Hunters. So yeah, this was a movie that we heard so many people talking about. It came out literally the same day as Elio, and so we were thinking to ourselves, wow. I mean, it's kind of like how we saw the reaction to Nimona, in which like everybody on the internet was talking about it. And we decided to watch it on Netflix, and we did the podcast on it, and we absolutely loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it was actually one of the catches by surprise. I mean, I made the joke at the beginning that I think, is this just going to be like, lesbian vampire killers or something like that? Which, thankfully, it was not. It actually has some heart, it actually has some soul, it has some great music, and has some great graphics, and yeah, I think it deserves all the accolades, so congratulations!
I'm not even joking when I say this. There are so many accolades. Time Magazine mentioned them. They appeared in Jimmy Kimmel Live, and they also had like a lot of interviews. There was a choir that sung them. I mean, they were everywhere in 2025.
Oh yeah, and 2025 was K-Pop Demon Hunters' year. It definitely
was. Like, I have not seen any other animated movie this year that is blown up compared to K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, and actually they're still doing stuff at the minute. Like, they released like a thank you, after everything that had gone down. So,
I saw their SNL skit with Bad Bunny, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, and actually they're still doing I think they're going to be on Fallon next as well. So,
yes, they are. So you it's kind of crazy to think. I mean, I haven't seen a movie like this blow up since Encanto, in which like everybody knows about the music and everybody knows about the characters. And
well, Frozen, remember, that was a big deal.
I know that, but Frozen was
Frozen Fever. Good grief! And then they actually made a show called Frozen Fever.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just saying, this is something that you would see Disney like knock out of the park, but no, it's Sony Pictures Animation, and to think that they didn't want to release this in theaters because they didn't think they were going to generate towards a large audience.
Yeah. Okay, we've now gone for the best movie of the year. We're now going to go to the worst movie of the year.
Boy.
Oh boy. Okay, the nominees for worst movie of the year: Fixed, a Minecraft movie, Pepper Meets the Baby Cinema Experience, Smurfs 2025, Snow White 2025, and The Twits 2025.
Oh boy.
So here are the results. In third place, with 14% of the vote, is Smurfs 2025.
Okay.
In second place, with 23% of the vote, is a Minecraft movie.
Oh, God.
And in first place, the winner of the worst movie of the year, with 41% of the vote, is Snow White 2025.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, this movie was a disaster.
Yeah, and for a tiny while, Disney was planning on canceling live-action movies for good.
Yeah, until Lilo and Stitch came out, and that right to the rescue, effectively. Like, can you imagine how disappointed Dwayne Johnson must have been, like saying, "Oh, no Moana, live action movie. That's it. We're pulling the plug." And it's like, "Oh wow, we've done all that shooting, and now all of a sudden Disney's like, oh, we're not going to do that now." And here comes Lilo and Stitch, and then it's like, "Oh yeah, well that's the way Dwayne Johnson is paycheck, effectively."
Anyway, but yeah, Snow White 2025. I mean, it's so crazy to think that they were able to just botch this the way that they did.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were able to change things that didn't need to be changed, and they, basically just ruined the legacy of what made Snow White such an amazing film.
I mean, you can say that about a lot of the live action movies. I mean, all they've just really done is just rehash what we already enjoyed in the animated era. Like, where the Snow White didn't need a live action movie. The Lion King didn't need a live action movie. All the movies didn't need a live action movie. They say that they are good in the way that they are, and it's the fact that Disney seems to feel the need to rehash just poor versions of their own movies, not create any more any original content. It's just, quite frankly, it's just it's all either make sequels or just leave it alone. You know what I mean? Don't recreate this stuff.
Oh, by the way, Clever Hilarious 20 says hi there. So hi, Clever
Hey,
Hilarious.
Clever, you all right?
How you doing?
Okay, we are going to move on to the best reviewed movie. Now, the best reviewed movie, I probably should have explained this, is the movies that we reviewed and are now in this category. So that's the reason why you're about to hear some of the people I'm about to announce. So the nominees for best reviewed movie include Coraline 2009, that was in Old Spook Lane, Dogman 2025, Elio 2025, K-Pop Demon Hunters 2025, and The Day the Earth Blew Up, the Looney Tunes movie 2024. Now, why did I say 2024? Because it released in the Annecy Film Festival at 2024. That's where I call it. I count it as a 2024 movie.
Sure.
Okay, then. So let me give you the results. In third place with 23% of the vote. This is a shocker. K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
In second place with 27% of the vote. By the way, this movie was leading the polls at the very beginning of this.
Okay.
Is Coraline 2009.
Oh, wow. So what is first place?
The winner with 36% of the vote. Admittedly a bit controversial, I guess you could say. The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie 2024.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so go check out our podcast on The Day the Earth Blew Up. But yeah, this was a movie that we thought was never going to come out because of all the crap that Warner Brothers was going through with, delaying the movie. And then after a while, we had the whole controversial thing about Coyote versus Acme.
By the way, the future of Warner Bros. Discovery is still up in the air at the minute because we've still got, Netflix and Paramount fighting over the thing, haven't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, it's just so sad, seeing how things are played out. By the way, Coyote versus Abney, this is a bit of justice, will finally come out in a few years' time. So we're finally going to get that.
They're saying that it might come out, in 2026. So we might be seeing it this coming year.
That's the review I thought you and I would never do. After we covered the whole saga in Aaron and Patricia, I just sat there and thought, we're never going to cover this movie, are we?
And
now that's potentially going to be an Old School Lane episode. So look out for that casual chats if you can.
Okay, yeah. So The Day the Earth Blew Up. This is actually the first legit Looney Tunes movie. And I know what some people are going to say, what about Space Jam? No.
Space Jam was based off the advertisements and stars guest stars. It's sort of like a Looney Tunes movie that guest stars Michael Jordan. But it's funny because it seems to be more about Michael Jordan than it does seem to be about the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
And it just seems to be him transferring to being out of basketball and becoming a baseball player, but then rediscovering his love for basketball, but probably done it the worst possible way.
And then we had the Space Jam: A New Legacy, this time focusing
that movie was crap. I hated that movie with a passion.
Yeah, this time focusing
There's no originality in Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Anyway, but yeah, this is the first legit Looney Tunes movie. And yeah, the compilation movies from the 70s don't count. So yeah, we have Porky and Daffy in this, and it's basically about them working in a gum factory, and then you have aliens, because why not? And yeah, it's a very great movie with a lot of humor, and the characters are really dynamic, and yeah, I mean, they're able to take advantage of that. And Aaron and I have not seen the new Looney Tunes show from HBO Max. We haven't tuned into it yet, but
well, we feel kind of bad because it's not just the new Looney Tunes show. We're not seeing the Animaniacs reboot yet. We're not seeing some of the stuff that's released on Hulu. somewhere down the line, we will try and we'll sit down with it.
Yeah, we haven't seen Tiny Toons University yet. We did see season 14 of King of the Hill.
Oh, yeah, we did see that.
Yeah, we saw that, and it was great.
Yeah, eventually we will give our thoughts on, the new... By the way, there's going to be actually 2 new seasons, actually. There's going to be season 15 and season 16 coming out,
Yes,
which is
there
great.
is.
I love the idea of that.
Yes.
So, but I mean, when these were like... I mean, one thing we like to do, the thing is that, there's a lot of seasons of King of the Hill, and we'd like to do the original ones first before we start touching the new versions.
There are 13
seasons of this, yeah. So, like, it's going to take us a while.
Yeah, I know that this is nothing compared to One Piece, in which they recently announced they're going to go into
We're never doing One Piece. We're never doing One Piece.
They just revealed that they have closed their first season. You know how many episodes season 1 is? 1,000.
Enough. Yeah, like, I mean, anime is going to be really hard to tackle because there's just so much of it. Like,
to be fair,
if there's any anime podcasts out there, I mean, to be honest with you, I would just recommend those because, I mean, like, besides some of the stuff that we watched in, the 80s and the 90s, I'd love to do an Akira review. I mean, if anything, like, one day I'd like to, like, cover that. But, I mean, with other anime out there, I mean, like, as much as, what's her name? She's married to Linkara. Vega, yeah. I mean,
Vega.
like, as much as Vega has probably tried to get me into anime, I mean, like, unfortunately, it's just something that's just going to pass me by at the moment. Like, my whole world was Western animation, effectively, with a little mix of Pokemon and a little mix of a few other ones that kind of made it out of Japan. Sorry.
Fair enough. I mean, I did introduce Aaron to Hellsing last Old Spook Lane, though.
Yeah, like, that was jarring, to be honest with you. Like, there's so much blood. Like,
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, baby steps. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, let's move on to the worst reviewed movie. So, this is the movie that you and I watched, and we considered, like, yeah, this is probably the worst thing ever.
Oh, boy.
And thankfully, because of circumstances, our backup episodes became available on Old School Lane, and they actually kind of fell into this category. So, I guess maybe something did come out of, like, my health issues, I guess.
Okay.
Worst reviewed movie. The nominees include Blinky Bill the Mischievous Koala, 1992, Happily Ever After, 1989, Rainbow Bright and the Star Sealer, 1985, Thunderbirds 2004, The Twits 2025, and Wendell and Wild 2022.
Okay, so who got this one?
Okay, then, here we go. In third place, with 18% of the vote, is Happily Ever After, 1989.
Okay.
In second place, with 23% of the vote, is The Twits 2025.
This was actually Eli's vote for what he thought was the worst animated movie.
I probably might. I'm not too surprised about it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we did both. All three of us reviewed it, and we just thought this is the worst Roald Dahl movie that we've ever seen.
No. It was the worst one that we saw that Netflix got a hold of. I mean, it still doesn't beat Tom and Jerry, Willy Wonka, and the Chocolate Factory.
I mean, that's not part of like the Roald Dahl collection, if you will. I mean, that's just something that Tom and Jerry just kind of like cooked up. But I mean, the only other thing I could think of is probably like remember when we saw James and the Giant Peach, the BBC production, that kind of looked like a stage play, then it did actually look like an actual special. I mean, like that's the only thing I think that's probably worse. Anyway, we're delaying. Okay, so. The winner of the worst reviewed movie of the year, with 27% of the vote, is Thunderbirds 2004.
I knew this was going to be number one.
I thought, a lot of people, funny enough, some people actually, in my real life, actually saw our Thunderbirds 2004 movie and actually agree with me. Like, when they grew, some of the people who actually grew up with this thought it was the worst thing ever as well.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
this was also, by the way, I know people say, well, hang on a second, this had a really small box office. How on earth can people, know about this stuff? It was on TV. It was on British television, all the freaking time, when it was after it ended its cinematic run, and it was also on DVD as well and everything like that. So, yeah, there was plenty of ways and means for this movie to torture us, okay?
Yeah, and like I said before, this was my first time watching this, and after getting my mind refreshed on everything Thunderbirds, I mean, I could have been one of those people who could have, saw this on its own merits and just, saying, oh, this is just, a dumb movie that was trying to capitalize on Spy Kids, but knowing that I have the experience of Thunderbirds, Thunderbirds Are Go, Thunderbirds 6, and all of the other Super Mario Nation stuff, and then jumping in to Thunderbirds 2004. Yeah, I mean, this is a clear bastardization of the original source material. It's
And
like,
even Jerry Anderson said it himself was a load of crap.
yeah,
as
he
well.
literally said it was the biggest piece of crap he'd ever seen in his life.
Yeah, and it's funny because people ask me, well, why did you cover it in Puppets Go Boom? It's not a real Super Mario Nation thing. Well, it's based off Thunderbirds, the TV show, and also it's basically also it was a bonus episode that appeared on Puppets Go Boom. So that's the reason why I ended up in the category. So
Yes.
I'm pretty sure there's other people there saying oh yeah, there's worse movies in there, but and I agree with you, but we all voted and Thunderbirds 2004 came on top. So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Next category, unfortunately I lost my place,
Oops.
is the number 5 is the best animated pilot or TV show.
Okay.
So here we go. This is actually a really exciting one because this was hotly contested, by the way.
Oh,
This went
really?
back and forth.
Oh, no kidding.
Okay, the nominees include The Amazing Digital Circus, I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl, Devil May Cry the Animated Series 2025, Has Been Hotel Season 2, Knights of Guinevere, and Murder Drones.
Okay.
This was a fun one, and I'm going to tell you what the results were of it now.
All right, then.
In third place, with 18% of the votes, is I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl.
Oh yeah, so I actually know the person who created this pilot. I mean, not like personally, but
Yeah.
I know her stuff. I mean, she's a storyboard artist and director of Big City Greens, and she also does this really great series of comics on Tumblr where she actually paired up Ash Ketchum's mom and Jessie from Team Rocket. It is so adorable.
That's hilarious.
It is great. Go check it out on Tumblr. But yeah, I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl is
Man, who knew Jesse James was into MILFs?
anyway, but yeah, so I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl is a great satire of the magical girl anime where it's somebody who doesn't want to be a superhero. And yeah, I think that's a great callback to something like Sailor Moon or Cardcaptor Sakura, in which she is given the ability to become a magical girl and she doesn't want to really do it. And I think that's a great twist on the classic genre. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Kiana has to do in the future.
I don't think there's going to be more I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl. I hope someone picks it up for a series.
Yeah,
I
that'd
really
be-
do.
yeah,
that'd be really
great.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, second place with 23% of the vote is Has Been Hotel Season 2.
Yeah.
I've heard some great things about it, by the way.
Yeah.
One of these days, I mean, here's the thing. Has Been Hotel and, Hell of a Boss doesn't really come under our remit as 80s, 90s nostalgia, so, I mean, unless there's massive demand for it, I'm not too sure if I actually go to it at some point, but, if you guys want us to review it, we'll review it, but, at the moment, it's sort of, not our priority.
I mean,
yeah, no offense to everybody out there.
I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll talk about it in this coming year's Old Spook Lane. I mean, that could be definitely within our category.
We'll see. And, anyway, the winner with 32% of the vote is Knights of Guinevere.
Yeah, we saw the pilot of this, by the way. And yeah, it's fantastic. And the fact that Dana Terrace and John Bailey Owen were able to craft this really great pilot of a lot of mystery and a lot of world building, some interesting characters. And yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell that Dana Terrace definitely had her hand in thinking to herself, wow, I mean, how do I give the biggest flaming middle finger to Disney? And yeah, I mean, she was able to pull it off in strides with Knights of
It's
Guinevere.
amazing. Yeah, I'm really hoping someone will pick Knights of Guinevere up as well. I get that Glitch is currently doing it at the moment, and
Yeah.
it's currently in, an independent animation, but seriously, Netflix, come on, continue putting knives into Disney, pick this up for a series.
I mean, if Amazing Digital Circus can be on Netflix, then Knights of Guinevere can be on Netflix.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I'm hoping that might be something that might happen. All right, then. We are now at the worst animated pilot or TV show.
Oh boy.
Okay, the nominees are The Beginning After the End, Compass 2.0 Combat Providence Analysis System, Famagia, please put them on Tamiki-san, Reborn as a Vending Machine, I Now Wander the Dungeon, and Your Former. Okay.
That is just as bad of a title as I Was Once a Teenage Slime.
And by the way, not all of them are anime. One of them is an Adult Swim show. So,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, here's the results. With 18% of the votes in third place is Please Put Them On Tamiki-san.
Okay.
In second place with 23% of the votes is Famagia.
Okay.
Famagia was actually leading the polls at one point.
Oh,
But
okay.
Coming in at first place with 36% of the vote is Reborn as a Vending Machine, I Now Wander the Dungeon.
Oh God.
Yeah, I actually read up a little bit about this. Apparently, it's about a guy who got killed by a vending machine and then gets reincarnated in a fantasy world as a vending machine,
Again,
and therefore he has vending machine powers.
I mean, this is so anime. It's not even a joke. This has been something that has been happening over the past couple of years.
I mean, to be honest with you, this could be an Adult Swim show as well. Like, so someone's gonna be stupid enough to do it. Like,
I mean, yeah, I've seen all of these characters being reincarnated into something. Like I said, a slime, as in like an RPG slime. And yeah, I mean, a vending machine is not too much of a surprise. This is something wacky that somebody from Japan.
I doubt we'll be reviewing this anytime soon, by the way. So
No,
please don't ask for that. Okay, the next category is the best character or group. So this is either a cartoon, animated character, or like a character in a show or in a movie, and we are considering which ones are the best. So the nominees include the bad guys from The Bad Guys 2, Huntrix from K-pop Demon Hunters, and Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde in Zootopia 2.
All right, then.
Okay, so 3 here, and by the way, I think there was some people asking, like, where's Charlie Morningstar and Vaggie in Has Been Hotel season 2. I mean, like, I was thinking about adding them in there, but I mean, like, it just I just got too late to add them at one point, so
Okay,
I do
then.
apologize about that. Okay, I guess they're an honorable mention, I guess, at this point.
Sure.
Okay. In third place, with 23% of the vote, is the bad guys from The Bad Guys 2.
Okay.
In second place, with 32% of the vote, is Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde from Zootopia 2.
All right.
And the winner, with 45% of the vote, is Huntrix from K-pop Demon Hunters.
It's not too much of a surprise.
I mean, like, they are right now. I mean, like, they are of our modern version of the Powerpuff Girls. I mean, like, you've got one that's sugar, and you've got one that's spicy, and you've got one that's everything nicey. So, like, it won't be too surprising me if the Powerpuff Girls has some sort of inspiration besides Huntrix in some way.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, but yeah, they work as a great trio together, and they just have so much interesting dynamics together. And yeah,
it's just the fact that they're so different and have such different backgrounds. I mean, like, where you've got it's not Mia, it's
Rumi.
You got Rumi, who is like the leader of the group, but also has her own insecurities that she needs to fight off as well.
No, that's Mira.
No, that's not Mira. That's Rumi.
Oh, that is Rumi.
Yeah, Rumi's the one with the demon scars.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And you got Mira, who is then like she is the one with the attitude. She is the one who stands out from the crowd.
And then you have Zoe, who is like the optimistic and
yeah,
crazy one.
she is. And but the fact that they grew up in different ways, like Rumi effectively was like it's not nepotism, I guess I would say. Like she was kind of born into this. Like given the fact that her mother is was one of the Sunlight Sisters, and then you've got you've got Mira. And then you got who's the other one? Zoe. So I do apologize, everybody. You got Zoe, who is like she was born in America and was born in in American culture, and was very quite isolated until she finally found her calling in in K-pop.
Yes.
So I mean, you have these three all work together and they bounce off one another, and they have been written so well, and that's what goes into a great trio. And sometimes it's very hard to pull off because you either make one too strong and make a couple over weak, or you end up making them all weak because you can't differentiate them from one another. I mean, look at Huey, Dewey, and Louie in the Quack Pack. I mean, you couldn't really differentiate them all because they made them too similar.
Exactly.
At one
yeah.
point. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't until the reboot of DuckTales in which they actually got their own distinct personalities and different voices too, because for the most part, the original DuckTales had all the same voice, where it was Russi Taylor who voices Huey, Dewey, and Louie. And then with Quack Pack, they changed the voices, but yeah, you didn't really see too much of their personalities outside of that. And then you have the 2018 DuckTales, in which they were able to finally differentiate them. But yeah, you could have, gone with either one of them was like too overpowered and the other ones were weak, or they were all weak and you can't really tell the difference between the two of them, or they're all annoying. So yeah, it was that fine line where you had to make them distinctly different, but also really endearing.
Yeah. Okay, we're up to number 8 now, and this is the worst character or group.
Oh boy.
So this is the nominees. Patrick Star from The Patrick Star Show, Plankton from Plankton the Movie, The Smurfs from Smurfs 2025, Snow White from Snow White 2025, Sterling from Fixed, and Steve from a Minecraft movie. Okay, so let's see who the winners are. Alright, this is interesting. In third place, with under 23% of the vote, is Snow White from Snow White 2025.
Okay.
In second place, with over 23% of the vote, so just like 23 and a bit, is the Smurfs 2025.
Oh, wow, okay.
And the winner, with 32% of the vote, is Patrick Star from The Patrick Star Show.
Oh, boy.
And probably deserved. He's probably like, though, it's funny because Patrick Star, at the very beginning of this, turned into, like, it was just the goofy best friend of SpongeBob SquarePants. And now he's just... I'm not even going to repeat it on the live stream because, I don't want to get us kicked off. But, he's just become such a miserable and such, a frustrating character. Like, he's like Eric Cartman without the snark. Like, he really is. Like, I can't believe that they've taken, a goofy and, alright, and not also smart, but, a loyal best friend. And so, just turn him as, someone who, really irritates the characters, for comedic, for non-comedic reasons. Like, I think well deserved. I don't like Patrick Star in 2025. I probably won't like him anymore in 2026, or as long as the Patrick Star Show kind of goes along.
Here's the thing. As of this podcast, we haven't seen the new SpongeBob movie yet in theaters, and I know this is the movie that all of you guys voted on for me to watch as the animated movie of 2025 to look into. So I will do it at some point. And yeah, and also the fact that Aaron and I, if you remember a few years ago, we made a bet on how long was the Patrick Star Show going to be lasting. And
both of us lost.
We lost because it's still running. So I don't even know what's worse. The fact that it's still running or that we both lost the bet.
Yeah, exactly. So
thanks, Patrick Star.
Yeah. All right, then. Anyway, let's move on from this. We are now into our last two categories. It is the actor or voice actor of the year. So this is either, live action actor or someone who's a voice actor of a animated character.
Okay.
So we're going to go into that now. The nominees include Arden Cho as Rumi from K-pop Demon Hunters, Nico Parker as Astrid in How to Train Your Dragon 2025, Stephanie Beatrice as Vaggie in Hazbin Hotel, Arias Quinas as Aiko in I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl. I apologize if I butchered that name. Jonas Kibrib as Elio, and Zelda Khan Black as Annie in Knights of Guinevere. Okay, we are going to go into the winners. So, with just a little over 14% of the vote. By the way, just to give an honorable mention, Zelda Khan Black as Annie, she got 4th place, just by under 14% of the vote.
Okay.
So with just a little bit over 14% of the vote is Stephanie Beatrice as Vaggie from Hazbin Hotel.
Okay.
In second place with 18% of the vote is Jonas Kibrib as Elio. So congratulations to him.
Mm-hmm.
And the winner with over 41% of the vote is Arden Cho as Rumi from K-pop Demon Hunters. So congratulations to her.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Okay. And then finally, we go to the worst actor or voice actor of the year. And so a bit of a climb down from the best actor and voice actor of the year. The nominees included Jack Black as Steve in the Minecraft movie, Rihanna as Smurfette in Smurf 2025, Rachel Ziegler as Snow White in Snow White 2025, and Ricky Gervais as Flippy the Fish in Dogman.
Okay, who's the loser in
Who's the loser in this? Okay, in third place with 14% of the vote is Jack Black as Steve from a Minecraft movie.
Okay.
And in second place with 32% of the vote is Rihanna as Smurfette in Smurfs 2025.
Oh, wow.
And in first place with over 50% of the vote, this is the one who actually got the overall majority of votes in this, is Rachel Ziegler as Snow White in Snow White 2025. I'm very sorry.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it just goes to show how bad Snow White 2025 actually was. The fact that it nearly ended live action, Disney remakes, and it's only because Lilo and Stitch did so well that it brought it back to life. It was there dying on the operating table, and because thankfully, with Lilo and Stitch giving Disney live action remakes the kiss of life, we're going to start getting Moana the live action remake soon.
Yeah,
which is kind of weird because we're still going to get animated Moana movies still. Yeah, how does that make sense?
Yeah, and the fact that the Tangled movie, if you remember that, it was going to be canceled and Sabrina Carpenter was no longer going to be a part of it. And now they're thinking of reviving it and they're thinking about getting a new actress for it. And then there was recent news that the Hunchback of...
It's a shame, really, because I think Stephanie Carpenter could pull off
Sabrina.
Sabrina Carpenter could pull off, Rapunzel.
Yeah, unfortunately, it just didn't happen. And then we heard the news about the Hunchback of Notre Dame live-action remake being canceled, too. So, yeah, I guess you could say that the Lilo and Stitch 2025 movie was the defibrillator of the dying death grasp that was the Disney live-action
And whether
remakes.
you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, well, I'm sure we'll find out in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Well, anyway, on that sad note, I think we're going to call it there. And thank you so much, everybody, for voting in the 2025 End of Year Awards. And so it's been a fun year. And yeah, I hope this ending with this live stream. I mean, the reason we kind of ended up doing this live stream is because obviously we didn't want to, spend another bunch of time before racing towards the end of the year editing a video. So we thought we'd just come in and do it as a live stream. And by the way, you finally get to see our lovely Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And and our lovely snow globe as well. So
yeah, so I
before we
guess
have to pack it away in the basement.
yeah, so I guess we can, briefly talk about some of the stuff that we are planning for this coming year. So obviously we have 2 Pix Mix episodes with Hoppers and with Toy Story 5. I mean, that's definitely going to be happening. And then we have Dream Machine, which, we will continue with DreamWorks Dragons as promised. And the Forbidden Island is going to be the next DreamWorks movie. So, only one DreamWorks movie. As mentioned before, that this is the first time in 10 years that they've only had one DreamWorks movie. The rest of the times they've had 2, 3, even 4 DreamWorks movies. So, yeah, maybe they'll do quality over quantity. I mean, the reason why it's only been 1 as opposed to 2 is because Shrek 5 has been delayed for another year. And, and then let's see what else. I mean,
and by the way, I mean, like, in regards to, we were doing, sorry to talk production whilst we were, doing a live stream, but, I mean, like, we still haven't covered the Spark shorts yet, and we still haven't covered, like, win or lose, and we haven't still haven't coveed some other Pixar content, so,
that is true, yeah.
That is, so somewhere down the line we will get to that. It's just, unfortunately, time is not on our side, like, we've, unfortunately, we work outside of these things, and, we've got other stuff currently going on at the moment, and so, apologies we don't get to everything that you want us to get through. But eventually we will, and so there is going to be a lot of exciting stuff going to be coming along the line. So just be patient, stay subscribed, hit that bell icon, and you'll be notified when you next get some great content either from Pixar, DreamWorks, or Disney, or whatever we decide to cover on Casual Chats, on Pix Mix, or on Dream Machine, or even Public Scope Boom. In fact, with Public Scope Boom, we still got stuff to cover. I mean, we still got Thunderbirds Our Go to talk about. We still got the new Captain Scarlet also to cover as well. And I mean, who knows? Maybe where we might talk into some outside projects, from Jerry Anderson. Who knows? Maybe we might go into Hyper Mario Nation, maybe, and maybe we might cover Terrahawks. We'll see. Yeah. But I mean, like, until then, just stay tuned, and we'll announce if we got anything coming up in that. Right
yeah, now. And possibly with Journey to the Blue Sky, there is that new Ice Age movie that's going to be coming out.
Yeah, that's interesting. Me and Patricia are actually going to talk about this. I mean, like, do we cover the new Ice Age movie under Journey to the Blue Sky, or do we, like, is it a casual chat, or is it like, it was an interesting discussion, but I think we came to the conclusion that, when's the next time we're going to do a Journey to the Blue Sky episode? Let's, when we actually did say, oh, it's sad that, Spies in Disguise is going to be like the last ever episode that we do, but then obviously we got, the next Buck Wild movie, and, but now obviously we're going to get another Ice Age, and they're bringing back the original voice actors for this movie as well, so it looks like all the grumbling that's been being done on the internet from the Ice Age fans have actually been listened, so, yeah, but unfortunately, the Ice Age movies were kind of dying a death in the hands of Blue Sky, so I mean, like, can Disney really, coax some life into this, effectively would be like, what, the 10th sequel or something like that?
Well, from what, no, it would be the 6th.
The 6th sequel.
Yeah, because, I mean, there's already been 5 sequels. I mean, I'm not counting Buck Wild as a sequel. No.
Yeah, it's like, well, we'll find out soon enough, won't we? So.
Yeah, and as for the stuff that I'm going to be doing, there's Adventure Time's Fiona and Cake Season 2 had just finally ended. And so I'll probably see if I can get a hold of Paul Thomas to discuss about that. I mean, the fact that I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch Season 2 of Fiona and Cake, I've heard a lot of great things about it. So, yeah, as soon as I'm done with that, I'll message Paul to see if he's interested in talking about it, and then we'll get that going. And something that we haven't finished, and I know that some people are curious about, I mean, I'm sure that probably some people are asking about when are we going to finish Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Yeah, well, somewhere down the line, again, with all the stuff that we've got covered, with me and Patricia, we will sit down and we'll talk about it, and we'll let you know what we're going to release.
Yeah, and I actually have some ideas for some upcoming video projects, so, stay tuned, watch this space, and I'll keep you posted on anything that I come up with. But, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the most part. So, again, thank you so much for watching. If you want to let us know about what you want us to do in the future, please let us know on our social media pages, or let us know in the comments. And thank you so much for joining in our live stream, and Happy New Year, and hope that your 2026 goes really well.
Happy New Year, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.